Welcome back, everyone, to the draft. I don't know where we all went right there, but episode 39, the first episode of the 2026 NASCAR season. Very excited. As always, joined tonight by Tino Patino, Phil Eastman, same crew as last year. And we're going to have a lot of fun, just like we did last year. We're going to draft our teams. We got some new rules to go over. We got a game on Win the Race. You guys can just play the draft with us. So it's going to be pretty awesome. And I'm really excited about it. I'll kick it to you guys, just see how your off season's going. For me, it was a lot of work on the website. Pretty excited with all the changes we made on Win the Race. And I think it's going to be a big, fun season for us on wintherace.info. Phil, I'm going to kick it to you first since you are the champ. Well, Tino's the season-long champ, but you were the weekly champ. So I guess I don't know.
Weekly champ deserves to go first. I'll say that. I'll say that with the battle we had, and now technically I'm going first. Gonna keep talking, but Phil gets it.
Well, here's why I think right here. Like this is what did it. This.
There you go. That's it.
What is that? That is something you wear when you win the weekly draft, and Phil has that. Wears it with pride. Do you have it on right now?
I do. Here we go. Right there, baby.
Ooh, it's glowing.
Yeah, I can't even. It's on my dominant hand. I can't even move the mouse around because it's so damn heavy. But yeah, I mean, you guys will have to get used to it. Get it shining in your eyes when you're trying to make a pick. For that 1.25 pick, make sure it's flashing. But yeah, man. I mean, great time last year. Really excited about getting into it this year. I had a much more lazy off season, really tuned out of NASCAR type content from my stuff, which is probably not good for my gaining followers and, people to talk with, but it is what it is. Jumped back into it a couple weeks ago. Had a good episode with Chris from Flag Hunting and Derek Yoder joined while we did the silly season breakdown. Please give that a look if you're still trying to figure out all the, faces and new places and things like that. And Joey Logano wasn't one of them, Sean McBride, but we'll talk about him shortly. And last night and put the episode out today. I did my season preview episode on Full Tank with Phil, where I broke down all the championship futures, win total bets that we like, and head-to-heads, and then had a great conversation with the fellas from Atop the Pit Box. That's a fantasy game out there that I know a lot of folks play, and that was so cool to talk with those guys. So yeah, getting back into it and give those, season episodes a look, I guess before Daytona.
Awesome. Yeah, I listened to the silly season episode when I was driving back from Pennsylvania. That was a great one. I can't wait. Tomorrow I'm going to listen to the one with the Pit Box boys on there too. So that'll be a lot of fun. I think I got to come up with a tweet, just compiling all the fun games that are out there. List my games, list Pit Box games. Anyone else, doing one and done. I know Cody Zeeb, those guys are doing a one and done. So there's stuff out there we can play. A lot of fun. It's not just DFS and betting when it comes to this NASCAR thing for us. So,
and I'll say one more thing in that same realm. I got a text from Cody today, something that we did, or I did with him and Rod a couple years ago, was the driver group game for trucks. That disappeared last year on that site. It's back. Cody sent me a text. It's back. So we're going to try to do that this year as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's just more nonstop fun on the docket.
Yeah, we'll compile a list, put all the websites on the links right on there and tweet it all out so everyone can play these games with us. Tino, your hair looks great. I saw you're patting it, fixing it when Phil was talking. It looks phenomenal.
Well, the comments are getting me. We got the boys in the chat. Shout out them. They're waiting. They texted me today. Sam Hall, Sean McBride. When you guys come back? We want the show back, and we're here. It's time. We're locked in now. 40 weeks ahead of nonstop, the draft, NASCAR, win the race, games, coverage. Ryan doing a phenomenal job. That's what I want. It's my turn talking. I want to put the props to him because making a game, making the new adjustments to the site, everything's so cool and making me very excited, more excited than I already was to be back. But just everything that Win the Race is doing over there, Ryan puts in the work, and I'm really, happy to be a part of this team here with you guys on the show again. But also just like Phil said, like it's just nonstop fun. A lot of our friends, our partners within the community have a lot of great things going, and I'm excited to be a part of it all. For myself, off season's been very busy. First off season, I guess, in terms of having a career within the NASCAR betting world or just analyst role, where I have a full-time job as well. So that's been great, but also a balance, trying to figure it all out. And I have done so at this point. So I'm really looking forward to now being totally locked into NASCAR as well on the weekends and on the weekdays, like here tonight on Wednesday. I'll be back to next weekend, SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, doing my best bet segments. Maybe we do a little weekend preview, race preview show with Pete and all those great guys over there. So I'm really excited to, be back with them as well, along with you guys and a couple other shows of people that may want me on or not. But this is my favorite show to be a part of, and the season-long draft is something that I was happy to win last year. Gonna go back to back, so can't say any much more about it than that.
You did a great job last year too. You went out on a limb and got Shane Van Gisbergen when no one else was thinking of drafting him. Ended up working out for you with all those wins he had. So, and now this year with the point changes, you draft someone like that, get 55 points a win, you're going to skyrocket up these standings. So, tonight will be the season-long draft. It'll be cool. We're going to talk about 30 drivers. So probably talk about your favorite driver if you're listening right now. I got the enhanced loop data on Win the Race pulled up so we can talk some stats or look at specific tracks, whatever you want to talk about, whatever might come up here. Probably our predictions of, who's going to take it down this year and win the chase. So, rule changes within NASCAR as well. So I think it'll be a fun year. I do have the game. So weekly, and I'll go over this next week because this is more of a next week thing, but I made the game. Here's a picture of it. You're going to draft one driver from the 8 teams and your bonus driver, just like we're doing every single week. So that'll start next week. And if you are a member on Win the Race, join the one and done. The one and done, giving you $1,000 if you win it. Just beat everyone. Pick a guy, can't pick him again. It'll drop your lowest score for the year. There's no reason why every member on Win the Race should not be a part of this. It costs nothing to join. Just join it, beat everyone. I'll give you $1,000.
That's the coolest thing ever. That's just so sick.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
Man, oh man. I want to do one more thing.
Go ahead.
Well, I just want, because I'm like looking away too, because as we're talking, and this is probably the first and only time this will happen, is there's a race on right now at the time of this recording, obviously the Clash, but it's cool the fact that we kick off our season right here tonight, and NASCAR is as well. They wanted to sort of steal our thunder a little bit. You mentioned SVG. I look up at my TV right there. He's leading in the Clash.
Yeah, it's insane. He was awesome here last year too, but I mean, a lot of stuff has happened for him to get to this point in this race. If anyone's tuning in out there,
very cool.
There are like 50 laps left, so if you are listening, you want to turn it on in the background, go ahead and pop the end of the race on here. It'll probably get a little silly at the end. All right, so let's just hop into it because I think this is why everyone's tuning in. They want to hear what we got to say about the drivers this year. I'll pull up the draft board. So, Tommy Z, what up, man? All right, we got 36 drivers listed on the left here, but we're only going to select 30 this year. So we're going to leave 6 guys out so no one's getting stuck at the end here. We did a random spinner thing, and Phil ended up winning, getting first pick. Tino was second pick. I'll get the third, and it'll snake back around. I put the little arrows on the draft board here so we can't get confused. I think that's it. I think we just head right into it. Phil, I'm going to kick it back to you. The first pick of the 2026 NASCAR season. I don't know who you're going to go with. I think it's one of 5 guys, probably maybe 6, but
that'll narrow it down. Good job.
I know who he's going with.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Put it in our private chat right now.
Okay. Well,
let's see. This is interesting.
He said it.
Did I say this before?
Well, no, you alluded. You said, "Oh, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to guess it."
On the episode that I had this week. No, it is not him. But we'll save him for later.
Okay.
I am going with a driver who I think I called out on on the season preview episode, is in a decent enough spot for odds for a championship, because I truly believe that this is William Byron's year for a championship.
Okay.
Willie B is going first overall. A couple things went into this. I'll try to keep it, relatively quick, but I really do have a lot of good things to say about him. I mean, he's a consistent driver. This new points format, he's someone who's kind of been screwed in the past by the playoff format. And even with that, he's finished inside the top 4 in the old format 3 years straight. That's pretty damn good, even battling with all that craziness. He's someone who's won the regular season point standings in the past. I think that's going to be an absolute key. Like, I'm not saying anything we don't already know, but you need a guy who can do it. I got it. And looking at all different track types. Okay. I saw a metric out there. Someone had tweeted green flag speed on different track types. High tire wear, he's first. Intermediate, he's second. Road courses, he's fourth. Short tracks, he's fourth. There's no one that is inside the top 5 in all of NASCAR in all 4 of those categories other than William Byron. Now, I know to me, it was him versus Larson. Larson is obviously going to be a great pick. I just really think that Willie B's career is all pointing to this moment, this year. It's not a Daytona 500 champion year. Probably it's going to be ridiculous to go 3 times in a row, but I think he's going to put himself in position each and every week to do the right thing. And the other thing is Larson, which I'm sure one of you guys is about to take. I went with Byron just because the history kind of sees a little bit of a regression from Larson. When he won the championship, he ends up finishing 7th. But another little stat that kind of pushed me over the edge, tiny little stat, top 10s. So if he's ever had 20 or more top 10s in a year, he regresses from that. And he had 20 plus last year as well. So I'm going to need guys who can go out, be consistent. Willie B, his top 5s are pretty close to his top 10 numbers. So that's telling me like when he's good, he's great. And that's kind of what I really need this year. So Willie B is going to be the 1-1 pick for the draft this year.
I love
Promise
it.
I won't speak that
every time. That was fire. That was fire.
I pulled up all the data from last year, 36 races, and he is number 1 on our incident adjusted speed in the enhanced loop data, custom model maker in here. Number 1 in true performance over those 36 races. So it's pretty tight, but he's still number 1 in both categories. So everything, tracks there. That's awesome. Tino, how are you going to follow that up?
Well, you mentioned number 1 for William Byron in some categories there, but I'm looking at a guy who finished number 1 as the champion last season. He's number 1 on the Win the Race power rankings right now. And if I look back to last year and the season long draft there, well, Tino Patino picked Kyle Larson number 1 last year there. So I understand. And I really thought you're very thorough and I loved the stats there. But to me, I'm keeping it simple. I'm going Larson because he's the best in the biz. And he always has been. And even when he's not, just like last season, he's still able to find a way to get it done. He would have won the championship in this points format last year, something that I'm going to harp on as well. I'm sure time and time on the show is wins matter. And that's why I commend the Byron pick, because he had more wins. Like, winning matters so much more this season than I feel like it did, at least when we're looking at points and this being the season-long draft. So to me, I need to try to find winners. I need to try to find underdogs as well that can win me races, opposed to guys that are going to, get top 15s, top 20s. So that's something I'm looking at for this draft. Kyle Larson, thank you. Come again. Tino Patino, back to back.
Awesome. I love that. All right. So we're talking about winners. Now, I think one of the obvious picks here would be Denny. But I didn't know, maybe it's a good time to talk about him because are you guys worried about this news, that he tore his shoulder, going through the rubble at his parents' house or whatever? Like, do you think that's going to affect him? I thought he looked, pretty good tonight and he hasn't been in a car at all, he said. So how do you feel about that? You think it's going to affect Denny in a bad way?
It's crazy because instantly my thought was, well, that's going to hurt him. Like it hurts to have a torn shoulder as a NASCAR driver. But in 2024, he had the same injury and powered through it, and obviously had a great year as well then. So I don't think it's going to affect him. To me, for Denny, what I think this is a pivotal year for him. Just a sort of sidebar, because I feel like there's 2 drivers in his camp that will have an opportunity to be better than him. Like, actually, I thought that last year as well. Didn't necessarily happen. Like, Denny was probably the best guy out of those 4, not to start the year, but to end it. But yeah, I think it's interesting because I would think it would hurt him more than it did. And it didn't in 2024 when he had it.
All right. Yeah, I agree. What do you think, Phil?
I'm going to reserve my right to talk about Denny until someone selects him. So I don't want to give away my feelings on Denny.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think he's just like the obvious pick here, but I do kind of want to draft this year with some of my gut as well.
You got 2 picks though.
I know I got 2 picks here. There's one that I want to reach for though, because I don't want you guys to have them, and so that's the one that I might reach for next. My first pick, I'll take. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do exactly what Phil mentioned. I'm going to take Christopher Bell with my first pick. I love Christopher Bell, just his consistency everywhere we go. When I pull up all these, stats from last year, top 5 in my true performance scores for the entire year, you're looking at 22 top 10 finishes, 4 wins. We're talking about how wins are important. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say, really? Chris Bell is awesome. He's going to win a championship someday, and why not this year? I talked about it with Eric E-Step this morning, too, how, we looked at the top 5 guys, which I'm about to go outside that with my next pick, I think. But talking about the top 5 guys could be there in any order. So maybe if you moved any out of that, if you are worried about them, fine. And I could regret this next pick here, but I'm going to go with his teammate, Chase Briscoe, because I don't want either one of you to have him.
Ooh,
so
that's Phil's guy. I know he's a Briscoe.
That could be.
I wanted him.
This could be my, my reach, but I did my bold ranks. So Tino mentioned the ranks on Win the Race, how we had Kyle Larson number 1. I did my bold rankings, and in my bold rankings, I had Chase Briscoe winning it all. So I just think, even like tonight, we show up at the Clash. He's just rock solid, dead fast, just strong everywhere we go now. Last year, speaking of Larson, and who else had 15? Oh, Blaney did too. Yeah, I'm sure he's going next. So 15 top 5s in the 36 races, pretty insane. When he had a little kind of slow start to the year, just insane. And then again, we want winners this year, 3 wins, and I think he could win more than that this year, or at least that this year. With more time in this car. So give me Briscoe. I absolutely love him. Wicked high on him here. So, I don't think there's anything. I think with these first 2 rounds, there's no wrong answer. And so I'm going with Briscoe. I'll go with my gut here.
I want to comment because I was hoping to get Briscoe. I probably shouldn't have asked Tino to put his suggestion into the chat for him to type in Briscoe. Maybe that brought him to your attention, but
no. I haven't. I had him number. First of all, in the private chat, I can't see the messages. I don't know why.
No, he sent it via text.
Yeah.
But
I had the race on.
So this is the other thing I was going to put. First of all, he's 9-1 to win the championship on some shops. I took that. I think he could easily do this. And the other thing about Briscoe, because all they're doing now is points racing. What did he do twice as good as anyone last year? Win the pole. So he's putting himself out front to win stage points in the first stage, and then he's going to be good enough to be there at the end of the race. Like, this team is just so set up for a very good points year. And I think those 2 guys, both on the same team, but I think they're both perfect picks in your spot.
Yeah, I didn't even think of the pole winning thing too, because Chris Bell goes through those stretches where he wins poles too.
Jeez. Yeah.
Briscoe had 7 poles, guys.
Yeah. Cool.
And you get points. So this is good because this is something I need a refresher of. So when you used to win a stage, you would get playoff points, but now it's just points, correct?
It's just the same. It's just there's no such thing as playoff points.
Right.
Yeah.
But points matter above all else. So
right. Yeah. And then
to
if he
score
starts
those
first,
10 points or whatever the system is,
Yeah.
it's just important. So, a guy like that team, I'm very high on. So good pick.
Tino, what do you have here for round 2?
Okay. So I had a guy I was gonna go with. I'm not gonna go with him right now, and I'm gonna tell you if I don't get him. In the chat, Sam Hall saying I'm drafting Eric Jones. That is true, but not in round 2. So
That's a throwback joke. That's a throwback joke to the big race at the end of the year last year.
For real, that was a make or break. Eric Jones is a pivotal icon within our community now. So that's awesome. Appreciate that one, Sam. Okay. So a lot of things I'm thinking. One thing, just real quick to give my thoughts on Briscoe, aside from everything that you guys already said, obviously great pick. But the one thing I was concerned about, if I were to pick him, is does he have a sophomore slump that we saw with other drivers? And I don't want to get into them either because I'm afraid you guys might take that pick if I mention any driver right now. So the driver I am going to mention is the guy I'm picking, and that's Ryan Blaney. Got to have Ryan Blaney on your team. At least that's what I feel like. He's a winner. I feel like a lot of things were said last year about the Penske cars and how they are, an instant lock in the championship because of how they race the playoffs. And to me, I think with how this schedule is set up, Ryan Blaney, maybe not Joey Logano, but Ryan Blaney is going to make it far in this chase. He's going to be a top 5 driver and he may win the championship. And I really do think that because everyone's talking about how, they Team Penske, they figured it out. That's why we have to change formats, all of this. Well, no, I think they're just good. I think they just are able to capitalize on whatever the schedule is. And we're going to see. I could be wrong, but if I'm going to be wrong, I might as well have Ryan Blaney on my team.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a feeling I mentioned that when I picked Briscoe. I was looking at those top 5s, and Blaney's always up there. So, all right, Phil, you're going back to back here. I feel like this is a really good spot because there's some nice names here for round 2 and round 3. So, what do you got here?
Not the names that I wanted. But let me just tell you this. Win the Race has a really fun feature where you can go in and mess with your own power rankings. All right. And then you can reset it to what Win the Race has. And so I did that heading into this because obviously it'll be useful for me. And every single pick has gone in the order that I would have picked. So
that's cool.
That's cool.
I guess I have to keep it going. I did not want Denny Hamlin on my team. I did not want him, but I am now forced to take him because
he's fallen too far.
I can't risk him actually having a good year and Tino getting him in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I didn't want him, guys, I took under win total 3.5. I went through a ton of data to prove out that point of drivers who 6+ wins. The year following, 8 out of 12 times since 2014, it's under. He's the only driver, though, to score 6+ wins and then score more the next year. So maybe we'll get some of that. I'm so concerned with Denny, the state of his mental health, obviously the family thing, but the way last year ended, he's already talking about not wanting to race anymore. This labrum situation is just the cherry on top of that. And then trying to figure out what's going on with his race team and the driver roster there. Where are they going to put Corey Heim next year? All of that stuff makes me not want Denny Hamlin. But in the 2nd round, the 6th overall pick, if he falls to me, I got to take him. When we do our mid-year reviews, he'll probably be very small. And I'll be like, well, yeah, but at least I know I'm saying now I had to take him. I couldn't not take him. The next person on my list, man, there's a guy that I want, but I have to go with Chase Elliott instead for a couple reasons. Chase is someone who is just very good at points racing. And so now that we're back to that, I think he's going to do well for me. Chase Elliott was tied with Chase Briscoe last year for lead lap finishes. And so I know that's a silly thing to really harp on, but at the end of the day, like the guys who are on the lead lap, they're the ones that are going to be scoring points. And if you're doing that more than everybody else, like that's huge. And so that's why Chase is, so good at just pointing people to death. Even though like you could look up and be like, we're 10 races in, like Chase is just kind of so. Well, he's third in the standings. Like that's how he is. So I'm fine taking him now in the third round. I think that's another forced type of pick, but I'm happy to have him and looking forward to see if he can rack off some more wins. That's his biggest drawback is that he doesn't win races these last few years. And I think he could rip off 3 and, have a really good shot going into the chase.
He finds himself there at the end and in advantageous situations at the end of races sometimes. So like, yeah, he could sneak a couple out for sure. Tino, round 3. This is getting a little harder now. I'd say all the biggest names are gone. It's going to get a little fringy here, and these are super important picks here to end round 3 and head into round 4. As you can see from I have last year's. Just look. Nice. We had Brad Keselowski bomb, a Ty Gibbs bomb. These picks are going to be very important. So
it's funny because not to cut you off, but I have my own team in front of me here, looking at it, seeing who helped me out last year, whatever, and your guys's as well. But I keep wanting to mention like a guy or compare people, and I'm like, can't
give it away.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm very excited. You know the meme where what happened to the game I love? Well, it's right here. This is it, and it's getting even better after every round. I mean, the more and more we get into this, more and more my wheels are turning. I'm picking this guy, put that guy. Perfect example, Chase Elliott. I was going to go. I'm just gonna say it like it is because it doesn't matter anymore. I was gonna go with Chase Elliott, but I knew I didn't want both Larson and Elliott. I'm not knocking Phil's pick at all. Like he got him third round. That's where I would have taken him. If he didn't, if he didn't just pick him. But my point is I was thinking like for the long term and within NASCAR itself, funny enough, Chase Elliott's now being pushed by a tow truck right as the race is going on. So that's funny. But my point is for Chase Elliott, Phil said it best. It comes down to winning. Yes, he's the most consistent driver and everyone talks about him being Mr. Consistency. And I think he'll be in contention for a championship this year because of that. Format is obviously perfect for him, the chase for Chase. But my point is I didn't feel like I could have Larson and Chase Elliott on the same team while knowing William Byron probably has the most wins out of that team this season. Okay, who am I picking right now? Someone who didn't win last year. Tyler Reddick is back. And this is someone I needed to have on my team. This was someone that I made sure I didn't spoil when I was talking about Chase Briscoe potentially having a sophomore slump, because that's what happened to Tyler Reddick last year. Everything that could have went wrong did go wrong for him in that team. And he was still, he didn't get any wins, but he was up there. He was racing hard. This is a time where I think they come back, and I think they come back strong. I think Tyler Reddick is maybe he's a boomer bust play, right? Like if he's not winning races, maybe he's not getting as many points as Elliott or Hamlin or even Briscoe because, maybe he's not winning as many poles. But I think he comes back. I think his ceiling this year is 3 to 4 wins. I think he gets them early. I think he starts off hot. Daytona 500, why not? But legitimately, he has mastered, and I think people forget about this because of how his season went last year. Tyler Reddick's mastered every track, I feel like. I mean, short tracks, sure, maybe not as much as other guys, but he's there at the super speedways when he didn't used to be. He's better at tracks where even when he was there, we were seeing mechanical failures that were taking him out of contention. I feel like that's why this to me could be a boom type of pick, because I at least could have forgotten about him in terms of how good he was in his first season with 2311. So also need that team to lock in as well when it comes to, the mechanical failures that they had last year and the things that went wrong. Pit crew obviously was a struggle, so need them to step that up here. But ultimately, happy to have him. Also, before we continue on, got to shout out our boy Hot Pass, who's in the chat. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Keep up your comments. After every pick, Sean McBrien, going back to him, is thumbs down because we're not picking Joey Logano. Well, he'll get there. He'll get there. I don't know when, but he'll be on our board. And then Hot Pass also saying that Ryan looks clean with the fresh fade. I agree. Well, first thing I noticed, I hopped in the chat, hopped in the show. I'm like, man, Ryan, great haircut. So appreciate everyone here. Brian Twining as well saying Clash is getting booted off Fox because the Masked Singer.
Oh no. Yeah, they booted it for the Masked Singer. Are you kidding me?
Mine is still up, so I'm glad. That would have been wild if I looked over and it was just some, crazy.
Brian, what's it on now? What do we do?
Yeah, great question.
It's got to be like FS1 or something.
Yeah. Blaney, I believe somehow I'm watching this race live. I feel like he just sneaked into the top 3 after going from top 3 earlier back to the bottom 20, and now he's up again. I haven't been watching obviously because we're having this show, but every time I look up, it's 4 cars spinning out because there's rain on the track.
I don't know where.
Someone knows where I can.
I don't know where I can find it.
Please let me know.
FS2 for sure from Brian.
FS2.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'll do my pick in 1 second, but I do like having this on in the background. Priest was winning, I believe.
Just for the record, to kill some time here on this dead air, I sent you guys a text message. I'm now 8 for 8 in my power rankings selection on how the picks are going to go. So I'm very anxious to see what Ryan does here. Tell you if I can.
I think I'm gonna break it.
Okay,
this is where it happened. Yeah, let's see.
It had to happen eventually because I mean, you look at this list, like it's getting tough, guys. It's getting tough. You want winners, but you also want consistency. And so, like, is SVG is going to win? He's going to get you that consistency. I feel like the third round is too early for that. I'm going to go with, I think, a guy. This might shock some people, but I think he's got more upside than people realize. And I talked about him earlier today. I guess I'm just going with the killer bees here. We're going Chris Buescher right now.
Okay.
In the third round. And I think it's kind of early, but when I was talking with Eric earlier today, I had mentioned he has 5 wins in the Gen 7 era, which is there's only 8 guys with more wins than his 5 in this Gen 7 car. And so you're talking about someone who's due to win. I think Tyler Reddick is for sure. I loved that pick. That's who I wanted here if he fell to me. But I think him and Buescher, they didn't get in victory lane last year. But I think that we see them in victory lane this year at one point in time. So I love Reddick. I love Buescher here. Buescher was 16 top 10s last year. And what I like is he's just consistent, getting those finishes. An average finish was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th best in the whole series last year. And it feels like that. Like when you're watching the race, even when he qualifies poorly, you're like, man, how'd Buescher get up to 11th? How'd Buescher get up to 8th? And he just keeps climbing up the standings. So give me Chris Buescher here. I think that he has more upside than people think. And so I really like this pick. The next one's going to be tough. So here we go. I hope he's ready for it. I'll just type it in and then we'll see what happens.
Wow. Could it be? Whoa.
But it's the logs. Yeah, it's Joey Logano. And it's again, so for me here, just playing this point system, I just want someone that's consistent. And I mean, outside of Daytona, he is. Average finish last year, he's 1 spot ahead of Buescher, 6th best average finish in the Cup Series last year in those 36 races. And that's what we're trying to do is just kind of point our way in here. 14 top 10s. I think he has room to improve that. He's pretty slow at some times last year. And I don't think that he'll be that slow this year. I think he gets some of that speed back. And even when I pull up true performance the entire year, he's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th best in true performance over those 36 races. So if I'm getting him here in the 4th round, I just want those consistent points. Give me Logano. Glad we could do it for your boy.
The chat is blowing up right now. They loving the Logano pick. I did wait too long. I wanted him. I texted the boys. I wanted him. Miami Mike, ball Joey will go faster.
Yeah, there we go.
I love how you couldn't even just put him in the 3rd round just for the boys of the chat. You fucking put him in the The 4th round.
I don't know.
It didn't matter which way it went.
Because I
Just to
didn't
stick
know
it
if
to
I
the
was even
guys.
going to do it.
Oh, that's funny.
Couple Toyotas,
That's
couple
funny.
Fords. I got some Chevys I got my eye on, so I don't mind telling you guys that. You probably already know one of them that I really want. So, Tino, we're kicking it to you here, round 4.
Well, this also means I know Sean McBride was a huge Phil fan last year. They may be switching alliances. I don't know. He said Bubby
Come on,
Ryan.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
all right. Yeah, happy to be here. Shout out the chat. Keep it coming. I think some people will like my next pick. Shout out Cam Law. He's in the chat. Pulled a big Madden Ultimate Team card last night. Limited edition Plaxico Burris. Awesome to see. So had to shout out the boy there. All right. Now we're here. We're locked in. Round 4. I have a strategy. I'm not going to say it, but I will eventually when it gets there. I'm saving my strategy for the next round. Hey, I also got to say, I guess this is obviously how a snake draft works, but I find it I feel like I'm in the worst spot with pick 2 because I'm never getting a back-to-back.
No, it's all equal for everyone. We're good. We
Okay,
took out the dumpers at the end. So, like, I thought that's the only person who really got boned last year, although it didn't affect you because you won, was the person who got stuck with Cody Ware. But
true.
okay.
Right. Yeah. But I digress. I guess I was buying time. All right. So this is interesting. I wasn't thinking. I have a couple guys, and I have to decide which one's gonna be better. And I am gonna go with Ross Chastain for this pick. I actually am very glad that I did that because there was 2 Toyotas I was trying to decide on, and depending on who Phil picks, I don't think he's going to take both of them, and they'll come back my way. Chastain, obviously not the best year last year, but I think he's someone that gets a lot of points, starts out hot. He did win a race, obviously Coke 600. But I think this is a year where you bring in Connor Zilic, you bring in SVG, like that team to me seems like they're elevating. I'm not saying to a top 3 or top tier team status, but sort of back to where they used to be, right? I'm getting that vibe at least this season from them. I think when you're in a group that any driver can win, I think that's very powerful, and I think it'll help the team continue to win. I could potentially see all 3 of those guys in the chase as well. So
yeah, what's weird is like Chastain is largely talked about as someone who had like a down year or a bad year, but he finished 10th in the points. So it's like he was still right there, still a top 10 guy at the end of the season. So they got McSwain from Byron's camp, so maybe that'll give him a little edge here. And I had if people haven't listened to the show I did with Eric yet, go listen to it. I got some pretty cool Chastain stats on there that I dropped from last year. It was a very confusing year rooting for the one.
Quick Tino nugget. So I now have round 1 last year was Larson, and round 4 last year was Chastain. So I'm feeling pretty good.
There you go.
We'll see.
Now, Phil, this list is dwindling down. You got to go back to back here. Very critical rounds here, rounds 4 and 5. What do you think?
It is huge. I'm gonna bide my time with the next one. It really is tough. I know who I'm taking this first round here, and that's going to be Bubba Wallace.
Nice.
I fully believe Bubba's going to perform this year. He's got the momentum. I've talked about him a bunch already on a few different shows. He, to me, is setting himself up for the best year. And here's a little stat on him: 14 top 10s last year. That puts him in a really good company with, people in the sport, bigger dogs in the sport. But here's the thing. He only had 21 lead lap finishes. 21. That's almost bottom of the sport. So if you solve something as simple as that, his points are going to instantly go up just by the nature of the beast. So I'm very excited for Bubba as a season this year. I think he could rack off a couple wins, and I have him head-to-head season win versus Josh Berry, like a lot of people do. I think that is an absolute joke of a matchup. So Bubba Wallace is my pick. I know the other Toyota you're thinking about, Tino. I had him last year. You can keep him. I'm going to go with Ryan Preece. I think, last night on with the Top the Pick Box guys, Justin Norton from that show really gave me a pretty convincing argument about Ryan Preece and how he would be the one to be leading that camp. I'm not as high as you are, Ryan, on Busher. He scares me, actually. This camp, the RFK camp scares me, if I could just pull back for a second, fellas. This is the type of team that for us to talk about as we get further away from 2022, when the next gen came in and all the parity was there. We're getting further and further away from that, and the bigger teams are just owning everything. This is a team that's losing. Mm-hmm. And so I don't have confidence that Chris Busher is just going to like bounce back. Those wins you're talking about came in the first, few years of the next gen car. So I'm nervous. I could see the case for Busher, but I'm going to go with Preece here because I don't want a couple of the guys around him. I already have a couple of Hendrick guys. I don't need another one. And Ryan Preece, I mean, super speedways. He's good at short tracks. Like he's got a resume that I could get behind here mid rounds, right? 5th round, halfway through. I don't mind Ryan Preece, and I don't really have too much other, stats to back it up, but we'll roll with it.
I like it. He's a good point guy. We're looking for points.
That's right.
So he's like Busher in that aspect where they find a way to finish. Tino, round 5. What's on your mind?
I'm just looking at the schedule here. Round 5, and I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 road courses on the schedule, which means 5.
Well, no. There's 4 because they haven't updated it 4.
Oh,
because there's no more Roval,
right.
And they didn't. And I don't think they updated it on the app. If that's where you're looking,
you're right. Yeah.
Because that app is so good. I tweeted about it earlier tonight. That app is just award winning.
Okay, so that'd be crazy.
You're seeing 5. Maybe that's a sign.
No,
pick is number 5.
Yeah,
I was trying to go sign action, all the 5s. That'd be crazy if I pivoted off this pick, but I can't. It's SVG. That's my guy. 5 wins last year. I got him round 5 last year. If I'm thinking I was good last year and could be good enough this year, I might as well continue picking the same guys. I feel like it's just working. So that was my strategy as well. I alluded to it. So if you guys are paying attention, chat people that are here or you guys yourselves, like my strategy was to get a road course ace. Could have been Busher, could have been SVG, could have been some other guys. In round 5. Round 5 was like as far as I was willing to sort of stretch that. I don't know if I could have gotten him again. Don't think I was willing to risk it, especially that Toyota we alluded to. Missing our boy in the chat right now. I don't know if he's going to come in or not. Hopefully see him sometime this season. But I'd take SVG over him just based off of the potential to get wins. That's what it is.
Awesome. Well, I got to say, like, I'm okay with my round 5 and round 6 pick here because I'm surprised that these guys fell this far. But, Phil mentioned it. These elite teams are starting to run away and win everything. So I'm going to take Alex Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
Just got a Hendricks driver hanging around here in round 5, 16 top 10s last year, and we're trying to win some points here. Just a consistent driver. Not necessarily a winner, although he has won in the Cup Series multiple times, but lately he hasn't. But 16 top 10s has brought speed different places. If I'm looking at the speed here, we have last year top 15 in adjusted speed. I look at true performance, same thing, top 15. And there's another guy right there with him who's on a premier team that I took way too early last year. And we'll go with Ty Gibbs. Taking a Joe Gibbs driver this late in the draft, I think, is something that could really help me as well. Now Ty Gibbs was the most polarizing guy on my preseason ranks. I had him 11th overall. No one can believe it. Everyone does their ranks and drops them down 6, 7, 8, 10 spots. They just don't believe in Ty Gibbs. But one thing I'll say is, I looked at all the races, 2024, 2025. I took out the super speedways, and Dover's we're not racing there this year in a real race. And then I took the clashes out. So no clashes, no Dover, no super speedways. Ty Gibbs, 8th best in our true performance scores and win the race. Average finish, 18th best. The single worst true performance score to average finish drop off in the Cup Series in that race sample. So it's like 58 races or something in that sample. So just absolutely brutal finishes, but the car is not bad, and he can't be this bad forever, and it's not always his fault. So kind of like you were saying with Bubba Wallace, again, another guy with just a terrible average finish last year when you look at it compared to where he's running. It can't always be this bad. There's got to be some sort of positive regression coming for Bubba Wallace, for Ty Gibbs, and drivers like that. It just Tyler Reddick even last year, like we said, we think he can win this year. Like just these guys bring cars that deserve better, and it's not always their fault. So everyone knows I've made money betting on Ty Gibbs not winning a race over the last 2 years. I didn't bet the under this year because I do think there's room to grow and bounce back this season. So I think getting an HMS and JGR driver in the 5th and 6th round here, I'll take it all day.
Fair enough. It's good reasoning.
That was going to be my pick, and obviously we were alluding to him, so it was only a matter of time. I respect that. Both guys.
Where did I get him? I think I took him last year in the 3rd.
I thought I had Gibbs last year, and he screwed me.
No, I took him in the 3rd. You had Brad in the same round.
Yeah.
They both killed us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how times change.
Well,
Brad's still on the board. Gibbs is in the 6th round.
We learned our lesson.
Yeah. All right, Tino, we're kicking it back to you. Round 6 pick.
Very, very interesting. Because there was a guy that I was thinking about going with. And maybe I should because he's good on super speedways, could be good on road courses. But to me, he doesn't strike me as a driver that finishes races. Like if you're looking at someone, caution comes out. I feel like he's someone. I should have had the stats for this. So this is on me because I know there's a stat out there of guys that just were involved in, like for instance, Noah Gragson. That's a driver I know. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well. I hate to say that because he's the boy, but those guys, Suarez, those are good drivers that just did not finish races last year. They were involved in the most wrecks. I want someone. This is gonna be crazy, but I'm gonna do it because it made me smile. I was about to say I want a driver that's gonna stay clean. I want a driver that's gonna finish races. Yeah. Well, you know who you pick when you want all those things and then completely contradict yourself? You take the Hurricane, Carson Hocevar, in round 6. This could be the SVG of 2026. I'm not saying he wins 5 races, but I'm saying he is capable of being there. I know you guys have seen it. For those of you who haven't, he has a list on Twitter, he tweets it out, and after each race last year when something would go wrong, it was at least 10 races where it was tire fall off, loose lug nut, engine blown, and those were top 10 finishes, or at least some of them. I can't say all of them, but this is a driver that was in the mix for the Coke 600. This was a driver that was, like I said, in the mix at Homestead. He was up there top 5, Phoenix top 5. I mean, if he can just finish the race, these could be great points for me. He can make the chase potentially. It's going to be a battle. Like I like our board right now because I think Priest, Bowman, Gibbs, Hocevar all battle for that final chase spot. But I'd like to see him in the mix. And I think round 6, I wouldn't want anyone else to take him. So if he bites me, fine, but I wouldn't want to lose to him with my outlook on him this season.
Yeah, I'm upset. That's one that I wanted. I was hoping he'd fall there around 7, but did not make it back. So, all right, Phil, who do you got here? 2 picks in a row, 6 and 7.
2 picks in a row. I think for the visual, I'm going to go with the guy on the board who has the most top 10s from last year. I don't like it because of who I took right before this, but I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski because you took Gibbs. We'll keep it in the same round, see what these guys can do versus each other this year. I don't like the pick, but again, I feel like I'm kind of forced into it. Keselowski, 13 top 10s last year. He just didn't finish races. So, and I'm also not 100% bought in on his, I don't want to say commitment because he's clearly committed to NASCAR, but like, feels like he's split in a bunch of different ways in a week-to-week basis with running that team. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'm not taking him in the 3rd round, so it shouldn't hurt me that much. He should be a mid-tier driver. So I think I'm getting him in the right time.
Just broke his leg too, like coming off that, not just like in the offseason.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I remember when he broke his ankle at Pocono and he was driving the Red Zapp oil car and I think he won the race. So yeah, he does well with broken bones, I guess you could say. All right, the next guy. So this will be the 19th driver selected. I'm going to go with, for some reason, the guy that is constantly around the 10th driver in championship odds. And that'll be Connor Zilisch. He is a sneaky pick, in my opinion. When you're looking at the slop that's left over here, Zilisch, I think, as a rookie, we know that rookies come up and they struggle. It's the welcome to the league kid type of deal. But to get him in the 7th round, knowing that he's going to give SVG a run on road courses, knowing that he is clearly much more polished than SVG was when he was a rookie, coming out with how many wins last year? 10 wins in Xfinity, winning on all different track types. I love it. So, I think this is a good situation here. It feels to me like Trackhouse, if they, had to take some truth serum, that it would be Zilisch, Chastain, SVG as far as like who they want to really give the best equipment to this season. Just feels like this is the guy that they see, they're hanging their hat on. So getting off to a good start, 7th round. I feel like it can't really, I'll knock on wood, it can't really hurt me to have him unless he is just pure dog shit. So we'll go with Zilisch here. The books love him. The books love him. I don't know. It's crazy who he's in front of.
It's kind of wild. Even for like Daytona, it's like he doesn't. Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. He's ahead of guys who have won at Daytona.
Exactly.
Oh, here's our breaking news. Breaking news. Team 54, Zach in the chat. We were shouting out before. He says W pick Ryan, which it was. So great to see.
I'm glad he's here to see this.
Yeah, me too. And he's still watching the race.
Round 7.
20 laps to go. 20 laps to go. It looks, I don't know, the rare red flag and it raining. They're driving crazy, but I thought I saw Byron and Blaney up front. 2 guys that I liked for.
Yeah, I think it's Priest is winning. I think Byron's in 2nd. Blaney got up to 3rd, and then it's a red flag right now with 20 to go. So we'll see what happens.
All right. So now back to the board. There's 2 drivers I have in mind. One races for a premier team. The other notably said he does not. And that driver is the one I'm picking. It's Kyle Busch. He scored more points than the guy I will potentially mention, but it was 737 compared to the other driver who had 692. Now, obviously, this is last year, but we all know Kyle Busch did not have a good year last year. So to see that point differential, I like, and I also think he wins this year. I think it could be the Daytona 500. Yeah. I genuinely do believe
I hope so.
that I can't say he's back. I don't want to get too crazy because I know that's like my thing, but I do believe he does enough to make the chase. That makes sense. That's a good way of putting it. I mean, because think about it, you get one win, whether it's a super speedway win or not, you're in that mix. Like you really got to have a bad year to sort of miss the chase if you have a win. He talked about it on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio that if you talk about winners, his team is not in that category. Like you need to have multiple wins. You have to have perfect days in order to really separate yourself from the field, winning stages and the race. Obviously, RCR isn't doing that, but with how bad last year was in Kyle Busch standards, I kind of feel like it can only go up from here. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is getting down to like the crap here. This is tough. Because Kyle Busch clearly, I mean, his interview was so funny the other day. How he ended it, just saying like they have no speed. He's absolutely miserable.
Classic Kyle though. Classic.
Yeah.
So maybe the performance comes back.
So I don't know, man. This one's getting real tough. I just pulled up all the stats on win the race here. I'm trying to like find any reason to talk myself into any of these guys, and it is brutal. Like, just looking
And you
at
got
a
to do
couple
it
guys
twice.
who can just never finish a race. Like, they can just never go out there and just finish what they started. And there's one team I think is just total trash. So I don't know. I guess here I'm gonna go. Oh, I hate this, but I've been on this little kick. I'll stick with the premier teams. I'm gonna go with Austin Cindric, and I mean it makes me sick to draft him here. I just don't think it's any good. I can't really tell you why, other than he did have some speed last year, I thought, to start the year. I remember us saying, like, man, he was fast that race. Like, we didn't expect that. But then it just kind of fizzled out. He's a great drafting racer on the big super speedways. Other than that, there's not really much to write home about here with Cindric. Hoping that, he's a Team Penske driver. They can't just have, he had three top. If you take out super speedways last year too, 30 race sample, three top tens. I mean, pretty brutal. It's another one where I just don't think it could go that wrong again. Like, if you look at the average running position in those races, he's top 20. So I just don't think it can all go terrible for him. So I'm going to need him to bounce back there. Other than that, I have nothing else really at all to say. And then the only other one I'll take, because he could pop with some speed at times last year, and maybe he gets better this year, would be Josh Berry. So I'll go with Josh Berry right after that. We did see him win last year out of nowhere at Vegas. But again, Penske affiliated. So that gives me, Logano, Cindric, Berry there, Ford Camp. I'll take it. And at least he's shown some upside. But again, just a dude who went through a stretch where he could not finish a race. It just all went wrong all the time. Hoping that doesn't happen this year. He's learned some things and can be a little better for him this season. But if I were to talk about, his speed, I'm not too excited about it. But I think that's where we're getting there for these picks here. So give me Barry. Tino, kicking it back to you, round 8.
Awesome. Well, this is a driver that I had wanted to have in this spot. Honestly, could have seen myself taking him sooner, so it played right into what I wanted, and that's AJ Allmendinger. With the road courses on the schedule still, obviously he's a factor there, but I also feel like he's a super speedway guy. He doesn't like to be. He doesn't like. He mentions he doesn't like racing in those events. He's still potentially good there. Obviously, anyone can be. So I guess I shouldn't say it too much with too much power or weight on it. But this is a driver that last season, midway through the regular season, now obviously that's 10, 15 races, so not too much sample size, but he was inside the top 10 in points, top 10, top 12. Like, I was looking at the board and saying AJ Allmendinger is outperforming his equipment. He is showing up and finishing on ovals. And that's something to where with the chase, it can matter. Like, this is somewhere where this is a guy you can see a top 15, top 20 consistently. If he can finish those races, stop having the equipment malfunctions, which obviously when you're in rounds 8 through 10, these guys are going to have that happen. But if he can have it less, I like him for round 8. I think Dinger can be in the mix for a road course win, or if not, just flirt with the chase. Maybe top 20 in points would be great.
Flashed a little speed last year too. I remember, thinking some top tens on some ovals, even like some intermediate tracks. So I don't mind that. Phil, round 8 and round 9, going back to back here.
Yeah, this is getting ugly. Just a quick point about Cindric. There's so much talk about Bowman and who's driving the 48 next year. Like, who's driving the 2 next year? Because it's not Cindric. He's his daddy's gone. He stinks. Like, why isn't anyone talking about that? You know what I mean? Who's a Ford driver that's like decent enough to get into a Penske ride? Because
that's the thing. O'Reilly Series 0.
There's nobody. There's nobody. And maybe it's one of these guys from these shit teams, front row. But it's ugly. So give Bowman a rest and start focusing on the 2 car. Like, who's driving the 2? Anyway, I will go with Michael McDowell. I think he's my only option. but I don't mind Michael McDowell. I don't feel forced into him like some of the other drivers. McDowell, he has had success in the past. This team's a weird team with hosts of all, like Spire's just a weird team. But we'll figure it out. We've got road courses for him, got super speedways with him in the past. And, last year I talked about him last night, actually, with atop the pit box guys. Like, he was a sneaky pick in their game last year. And so, he had a great run at Texas. You never know with McDowell. So to get him this late, I don't know if you guys could check for me as I get into this next driver where McDowell went last year, but I would assume maybe it was before round 8. I don't know. Can you guys see that on there?
Oh yeah,
round 8 in the middle there.
Okay. All right. So I had him last year.
And he was a great pick. Just look at the color there.
Okay.
Surrounded
White
by
in the
purple.
middle there. Yeah, surrounded by purple. Okay. Cool. So round 8, it tells me he's in the right spot. And if he does better, because I think McDowell could perform better than he did last year. So we'll see. Maybe that performance goes up even more. I'm stalling. This is really tough. I'm going to go, man, I'm between two teammates. And so I'm going to go with John Hunter Nemechek. I just feel like, and I love Eric Jones. I'm going to leave him for Tino to take again and curse his team. John Hunter, I'll probably talk about him next week, guys. He is someone who started the year last year well.
Yeah.
Like really well. And really faded at the end. Like had a dismal playoff stretch. But 8 top 10s last year. That's 3 more than Jones. Performs well on super speedways. He's just a guy who is getting more out of his equipment than he should. And so I'll take it in this case. I have a lot of respect for him and his career trajectory. So, a couple more top 10 finishes, and he's in double digits with some of these other guys who've gone rounds above me. I'll take John Hunter in the 9th.
Perfect. Nice. Tino, I think I know who you're going to take here.
Okay. All right. Well, to me, my pick could be surprising, so we'll see if it checks out. I wanted to stick with the John Hunter love for a second because not only do I agree with you, that's someone that I would have taken if you had left him on the board. And then also, I think this team with legacy takes a step up. Now, I'm not that's not saying much for where their performance was last year, but I would put them above Spire, I think, in terms of a collective team. I think, Host of War probably outperforms both of those drivers consistently, but I think John Hunter could be in the mix for like a top 20 finish. So I like that pick a lot. My guy is going to be Zane Smith this round. Very happy to have him. I think he's someone that Phil talked about a lot last year. I remember like when we pick for the weekly draft, it's like he's the guy that always performs better than the rest of his teammates. And he's had, issues as well. Obviously the whole team did, that's what happens with those smaller teams like that. But if there's anyone outperforming their equipment, I think it's Zane Smith. Like these two drivers, John Hunter, Zane Smith, I think they're right there. Obviously, you could put Hostvar in that mix as well, probably. But I think I'm very happy with the late round Zane Smith here. So, yeah, let's go.
Awesome. I thought you were going to go with who I'm going to take here in round 9. And let me delete him out of here. And, oh, shoot. I'm going with Eric Jones.
There you go.
I just think, looking at the talent that's left here in this pool, I like Eric Jones. And if you are correct and Legacy is going to take a step forward, I think Jones is a guy we could see, probably with the best average running position on that team. So I just really like Jones, proven driver. And then to round it out, man, I really just think front row is like garbage. I know you just took Zane. I don't know, man. I just think they're missing something. I guess I'll just take Austin Dillon here, and I'm not thrilled about it.
I wanted that. The Richmond win is coming, so you're at least due for one win.
Of what's left, I mean, it is what it is. It's an RCR car. I think I just trust that more, even as slow as they've been at times, than what's left on the board here. So I was between him and Suarez, and oh my gosh, I can't change now. I wrote Austin Dillon. It is what it is. So Tino, on to your last pick, round 10.
All right. This is, like you said, it gets super tricky. Austin Dillon and Eric Jones, those are my two. I was like, all right, I'll get whoever's left, and they're both gone. So now you put me in a corner. I'm not taking Cody Ware. I'm not taking Ty Dillon. I'm not taking Riley Herbst, although am I? Because okay, if we're talking, because this is like honestly a pivotal breakdown that none of these teams are being talked about in this form. Sidebar: Ryan Preece just won the Clash. Happy for him. Super cool. He's a driver that you would think would win a Clash at Bowman Gray, and then he like never.
I know it's like I think I've bet him every year, but this one.
Same, literally. And you know who I did bet on was the drivers that finished second and third. So I'm glad that's out of the way.
Yeah, that's insane, dude.
But I agree exactly. Like he's that type of guy. All right. Brian saying Suarez, and I'm gonna go with it. I'm going to pick Daniel Suarez.
Yeah, I kind of regret not doing that for my last pick here. That's a good pick.
I would have if I were you, I would have taken Suarez over Austin Dillon. So that makes me feel better as well. Not to harp on your play, but I think it's not something that I love, but out of that group, now that he's gone, I feel good. I feel good about that. So I'm happy about that pick.
All right, cool. Last pick of the draft, Phil.
I wish Brian waited just 45 seconds to post Suarez into the chat, because I was thinking I would snag him. But yeah, Mr. Irrelevant, last man. To me, it's between whether you think Noah Gregson's gonna like actually race this year, because there's a lot of Gregson fans out there, and you think back to what he did in Xfinity, it's like he can't continue at this pace. So there's a part of me that's like that, but I'm gonna go with Todd Gilliland. I don't want Ricky Stenhouse, and I just don't trust Noah Gregson. It's less of a risk because you guys can't grab him at this point. So I'll take Gilliland. 5 top 10s. I know he'll perform well at Talladega and Atlanta. So, there we go. That's going to be how we round out the draft. It really gets tough. I mean, I think coming into this, I didn't remember how difficult it was to draft those last 4 rounds, but there it is.
I'll help you out too, because you swerving away from Gregson, I just checked, aside from Cody Ware, Gregson had the least amount of points. I believe he had 440. Yeah. And then the driver that had 200 more than him was Todd Gilliland. So you feel good about that.
Yeah, that's kind of was the gating factor there, but it's just like, will that happen again this year? I don't know. What was Denny? What was the comment that Brian just said in the chat? If you believe Denny, you know what to do.
Because Denny said that he expects Herbst to take it a step forward this year and be running like 10th to 15th. And then when I read that, I commented to Brian on Discord. I was like, yeah, on super speedways, maybe. That's about it.
Let's just, I know we're getting out of here. That makes me nervous for my Denny Hamlin pick. Is Denny like just in completely out of his fucking mind? Like that's insane.
Yeah.
A step up would be running 25th. Like that's just crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, it's been pretty pathetic. Like it's so weird how these teams just have like one complete dud. Like we talked like Austin Cindric. You talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Herbst. Like why does a team just have one car that's just a total piece of garbage? It's so weird. You're using
really strange.
Are you using all the same data and like sharing setup information and stuff like that? Are the drivers really that bad? It's weird.
Weird.
All right. Well, this was great, guys. I think we talked about 30 different drivers. We mentioned some cool stats on some drivers all throughout the night. Everyone in the comments, let us know what we get right, what we get wrong. I'll post this on X too. I'll put the full board on there and we'll see what people say. But I think it'll be great, be fun to track this all season long. Next week, we'll be back making our 9 picks. We with a special guest with us. We're going to have, I don't know, 10 or so, maybe a few more guests throughout the season this year. But we're going to start out hot with Daytona 500 with a guest. And we're going to draft our 9 picks from 8 different teams and our 1 bonus driver, which is a new thing this year. Going to get 1.25 extra points for that. It's going to be pretty sweet. Excited for next week. We'll be back Wednesday night, same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, same place, X, the Win the Race YouTube. Tino, let everyone know where they can find you. We'll get out of here.
Yes, sir. At Tino, PATTIGNO, getting back in the game, locked and loaded for this NASCAR season. A lot of great content coming up. I'll be on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio as well next week, giving you my best bets for the Daytona 500. I mean, I'm getting fired up. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. Great show here. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Brian, T54 Zach, Sam Hall, Cam Law, Miami Mike, Sean McBride. A lot of other guys. Hot Pass was in here, so I'm looking forward to the weekly drafts. Those always make my day, and happy to be doing this show on a historic clash double feature with the draft. The race ends, we end. Can't think of any better timing. And I really, love you boys and appreciate you, Ryan putting the show together and the games and everything we got going. Phil, we're locked in, and I'm really excited to be back with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm pumped too. It's going to be a fun season. Can't wait. Phil, where can everyone find your good work?
Yeah, thank you guys. As always, excited to kick this year off, and you can give me a look at Full Tank Phil on Instagram and X, and also give the podcast a look. Full Tank with Phil, and we got a season preview episode out there today. So break down some futures, and excited to get back at it with Daytona, boys. I can't believe the off season's done, but we're getting after it. So happy to be back.
All right. Appreciate it, everyone. wintherace.info. Go check it out. Games, tools, Discord. It's fun. Love you guys. We'll see you in 1 week for Daytona, baby. Have a good night.